Hey rail fans and modelers, welcome back to Getting Back on Track with Steve. Today we're going to be talking about how do we plan our model railroad, what tools do we use, and how do we go about it. It's been a big question for me, trying to figure it out. And so let's go ahead and get started. We'll go over some of this. So the first thing that we're going to need to do is we need to figure out what would we like to have for a layout. So one of the tools that I found that I was using to get this going was the SCARM. You can get SCARM offline here. I'll show you. Here's the SCARM website. And you can download SCAR here, and they've got a free version you can use that'll limit the number of tracks you can put on a layout, or you can go ahead and get the license for it, which I went ahead and did because it was the layout I'm wanting is larger than what they'd allow for free. There's also, when you go in here, tells you what you can do and how to do it. There's track libraries for just about any kind of track you can think of. And it also has a lot of tutorials, which is what I ended up doing so I could understand how to even scratch the surface of using this. So once you get the SCARM, from there, you open up the file here, and here's the SCARM interface, and you can look over here. You can select what tracks you want to use, and they've got just about every track you can think of. So I had decided I wanted to use the Atlas, and I wanted to go with code 83 tracks. So once I select code 83, you'll see this toolbar on this side that'll show you all the different pieces and the part number for each of these pieces of track, right down to your curves, your turnouts, everything you could do, even the flex track parts up here, either wood or concrete. So to go ahead and start your layout, you can select the point to start from. So I go over, so say we want to start from right there. I'm going to come down, I'm going to select a piece of track. So here is the 6-inch. So let's select a 9-inch piece of track. Boom, and it puts the track up there. Now, if you want to put several of these pieces of track, you hit the space bar. It'll do the same piece over and over. So say we want to do 5 pieces of track here, and now we want to curve it around. So we'll come down here, and let's say we want to grab an 18-inch curve. So you would select that, and you want it to either curve to the left, to the right. We want to go to the right. So it puts our curve on there. So we want to go ahead and hit the space bar to complete the whole section. So now we've made our complete turn back. We can come up here, select our 9-inch piece again, hit the space bar. Now we want to return back the other direction. So we're going to come back to our 18-inch, or it was a 15-inch radius that I'm grabbing. So you're going to come back here, you're going to turn it to the right, space bar. And you'll see here where they've joined together. So now you have a continuous loop all the way around. So from here, I mean, there's a lot of tools in here that are really helpful. One of them being is if you go to the tools section right here, you can hit the convert. So you can convert, once you get everything using these small pieces, you can convert it to where it'll figure it out how to use it with flex track. So you can select that, or you can come up here and there's a parts list. So you can see all parts in the project. So if you select this, it'll come back and it'll show you, hey, to make this layout that I just did, I need 5 of the straight number 520s. There's 10 pieces, and I need the 530 curved pieces. I'll need 12 of those, so a total of 22. So this helps you get an inventory list of what you need for your layout. So say that you wanted to go over here and get, let's go back to our file. Say you went to tools, and we want to convert this over to flex track. So you select here, it says no track selected. That means you got to select your track. So here we highlighted all the track, tools, convert to flex track. and say we want to go concrete. This will tell you that, hey, this is irreversible. Once you do it, it's done. So yes, we want to continue. So flexes, say okay. So now when we come over here and we want to see our parts list, all parts in the project. So now it shows the 502 flex concrete, 22 pieces of flex track would do the whole thing. So that's how you can figure up your parts list. So let's go over to what I started doing. So I went in, and this is one iteration of what I wanted to do, and I've got a few of them I've done different things with. And this one, it had here in the peninsula area, you can see kind of a cityscape with a station, kind of going up over into here where there's some businesses and things, and then I wanted to have a bunch of countryside. And you can see here in the track, there's looks like tunnel entrances here, so I was figuring a bit of a mountainous area coming in here. This track will go in and back out, and then a bridge, because I wanted to go over this river area. And this area where the river is was to be the swing gate area. Then coming back up and around, they'll split off and have some interchanges here, so you could put some industries and stuff over here. You could put another industry or another train station in here if you wanted to. But this is just kind of an interim getting the idea, and I've done several different ones of these here. So this one here, I moved the inner loop line to come over in next to it. So you had a single bridge going over this instead of a doubled bridge. And added a little bit extra length right in here. But, you know, I don't know how feasible this would really be, and it's not really prototypical. But, you know, it looks like fun. I want to do some switching, but I want to be able to run trains around in a continuous loop as well. So then I was also thinking about expansions down the road. So if you see here, I don't really have a rail yard or a staging area on this layout. So I was thinking about it, well, how would I do that? So one of the things I came up with, and you can see in this iteration here, that I've taken this line and I come off and I'm able to go into a tunnel through the backboard. And on the back side of my layout, it'll be on the other side of the backdrop, I could build a staging yard over here where I can keep all my rolling stock, and I could put together consists and have everything ready to go, so they would come back around and come back out on the layout through a tunnel here. And that also makes it appear that the train's actually gone somewhere. So it looks more realistic to me. I kept pretty much the same switching over in these areas. And I've got my city over here. I kind of got rid of some of the stuff that was in here because I didn't see it working. And I'm thinking I might get rid of this here because my thinking is if I can take and build like a mountainous region here and maybe put a sawmill area over in here and make it where it looks like it's got some clear cuts, then I could have trains that come in over here loaded up with lumber loads and be coming around. And over in here, I could model some lumber yards and that kind of thing, or some furniture factories or other stuff. But this is another iteration that I'm thinking. It's not the final one, but it's, you know, getting closer to what I want to do. So I've figured it enough that here's how blue outline shows where my baseboard is. So I got a pretty good idea of what I could fit into it. And I've also thought about I need to split and make some elevations, so I could split this and have these the upper tracks and this a lower track. You could split that by 3.5 inches and have a natural elevation coming off of this. So one of the other things that's really interesting about using SCARM is they have a tool where you can do a 3D modeling here. So you can build elevations in it, and I'm still practicing and trying to learn. But once you do a 3D, it'll come up a rendition that kind of shows you in 3D what your layout looks like. So you can see here, I've got my cityscape, silos, a lot of things going on here. I haven't gotten real good with the elevations yet, but you can see how it's going in and the track would disappear off to come out into the staging area. You could build up the mountains a little bit more here, and I'm thinking I'm going to do more of a bridge and waterfall over here. But it gives you a pretty good idea of some of the tools that are available to you with SCARM. And you can use it to develop just about any brand of track you want to use. So this is my basic setup. Okay, so what else do we need to look at here? So I got, yeah, you can collect the pictures. You can save photos of that, so you get a good idea. So I haven't decided yet if I'm going to do an absolute city or if I'm going to do more industry in here. But this was kind of fun to do. You know, you could add buildings and stuff all into your layout. So you got my silo over here and more tanks and large industrial types buildings. This could be like storage units, city skyscrapers, all these things you can put in using the SCARM, which is kind of a fun thing to do. I spent a couple afternoons just fiddling around trying to learn how to do these things. But it's, I think overall, a pretty good tool to give you a fairly good idea of what you can fit into your layout, give you some of the possibilities without putting things in and then deciding it's no good and tearing it out and putting it in and tearing it out and spending a lot of money you don't need to. You can get some pretty good layout ideas just from here. So I guess the next plan of action for me is I need to get all my base work done and get myself to a point where I can actually finalize this layout plan and get some track going so I can get back to running some trains. I'm really missing it. So there we go. That's how I figured out how to plan my railroad out. Whether it's right, wrong, who knows? We'll see as we go forward, and it'll either work out for me or it won't. But hopefully you'll hit like, you'll hit subscribe, and you'll follow along and see what ends up out of that old big mess. It looks pretty interesting, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So come on back. Till next time, we'll see you on Getting Back on Track with Steve.